Hey guys, this is Rick. Listen, I was watching my last video and I found that I forgot to talk about where Jesus is, of all things, But I've already told a lot of people. But I guess to get the story going is that, he was saying, where's this electrical conduit at? Where's this electrical conduit? What is that, And I said, well, it's really, really one of the reasons why we have trouble trying to, they say it's new age. Because, for a long time, a lot of people don't know what goes on inside their bodies. They don't know how it is that when you go to sleep at night, you go through REM, there's all these different frequency changes within the body, and you heal when you fall asleep. Not contrary, but the idea of meditating is to do it while you're consciously awake. And this sets about a whole different tier of changes within the mind as you're going about looking to raise your consciousness. And one of the only ways to do that is to connect this place up is there's something that connects the lower part of you to this higher part of you. And when you get up there, it's the killing of the body. That's why, it's the severing, of what's above from what's below. And even though a lot of our senses come about in our eyes and ears and our mouth and stuff like that, but still they're looking at the skin as containing the five senses. Because on this trip you're not supposed to be there. Your skin's not allowed up in this heaven, and it is a state of mind. And the only state that you can be in is in a spiritual state. And so in order to do that, you have to knock out the other side. And then this Kundalini comes alive. Now the Kundalini is a feminine energy. Somehow or another, Jesus winds up being like, the rock. He talks about the rock. So everything says it's the sixth chakra. Sixth chakra, if you were to look it up in the dictionary, is actually, they call it the seat of the soul. All right, there's a bunch of seats now. This is the whole idea. Is that I was just looking up here to see. I've tried to upload this conversation already on my computer, but my computer won't seem to let me do it. It gets to like 42 and it just quits. And I've done it like 4 times and it's kind of driving me crazy, but I have a little extra time on my hands for some reason. So I said, what the hell, I'll try it by my telephone. But what happens is this Jesus symbolically represents, what's going to be on the inside of you, all right? And of course this Kundalini is actually looked at as the rod, and it's also as our backbone, what sustains us. And this is that highway too. This is the highway from the body to the mind, all right? And it takes 33 vertebrae to do that. And what's really interesting is the first 5 are fused together. So that's 5. That's the sacred sacrum. So this is information that that's readily available out there. And but the idea that it being because it's an inward thing, that's the number of years that Christ lives, and it actually happens to be the connection between what we would call hell, or the root, the base of the spine, where we would come up with the base is the pineal gland. That's what at the foot of, or at the head of this. So he runs this gambit between here and there. So he becomes this, what the Greeks call the oil of the spine, Christos, all right? And so it's a part of you that's not even blood. So this is allowed in the kingdom, all right? No flesh, no blood. They don't want any part of you, Yeah, there's this part of you that's going up there anyways, but you're going to be knocked out when you're doing that. That's the whole idea. So Jesus represents this mechanism that goes up and down. He has to open up the chakras because they're closed. They're the male energies, and they need the oil. So you have to gird your waist and gird your loins so that you can make it up this and light the 7 candles along the way. So you may call it pseudo, but all 7s, anything to have to do with 7, is about this Kundalini, and it's been male or female. And in this case, it's Jesus right now. All right. It all has to do with the stone, the single eye, and how to operate it. And this stone is what they call, stoning the devil. So while he is in waiting, when he is not being used, so to speak, in this fashion, because we're in like a duality situation, whereas if you're just working out of the carnal mind, the left side, then what you have is you have Jesus sitting as the Son of Man in the solar plexus. That's the third chakra. And as we learn in the Bible, that the third church is the seat of Satan. So this is our consciousness that's on our sleeve, so to speak, the outside, what helps make us decisions, and that's the angel on the right side and the little devil on the left side. And the way the stories work out, if you read the outside cover stories on these things, that left side wins out a whole lot. That left side wins out a good percentage of the time. That's Cain killing Abel, and that's the nighttime overcoming the daytime. It's just as the sun turns, or as the world turns. So it just kind of keeps things stirred up, in some way. But we were taught at one time how to maintain that balance, and that is to turn it off so that another side can come in and clean house. All right, so that's this side that we're trying to do. So Jesus is inside of us. Now, as far as like the outside Jesus becomes the sun in the sky, because this is where the word is written in the skies from the stars. And that there's 12 of these constellations up there, and those 12 constellations in the sky have certain stars in them, and these stars are very important to them, and they're like deacons. They're meant on purpose. They're deacons. And what it is they represent like the beginning of the phase, which is the lift. There's the coast, and then there's the decline, as you're coming back down. And each one of the ages and each one of the signs has this. It tells you where you are. Are you strong Aries, like I'm an Aries, or are you going to be like weak? Are you part of a Taurus cusp, and stuff like that? But that's how that works. But you'll find that it's also in us. That what's above, so below, and it's not demonic, or anything like that. But you'll find that Aries is the head, Taurus is the neck, and the arms of Gemini, and it goes all the way down to Pisces, our feet. I mean, it's just the way it is. And everything that's electrical that has to do with this, you'll find it in the constellation of Aries. That's really cool. All right, the Ram, where we maintain our knowledge, where we remember things. The Ram. Just like computers and stuff. That's where everything happens. It's up here. This is where it all is. This is it. It's all about Golgotha, the place of the skull. That's where the sacrifice takes place. It's in your brain. So once it makes it up to here, bam, it opens up the seventh chakra. The man side goes away, and the female side turns on and starts cleaning house. So anyways, I've told you that enough. That's Jesus. That's Jesus in there. He represents that particular part of our body. All right? From when he was born to up here around 33 where he dies, he meets God. This is where Jacob meets God face to face, So before Jesus was here, it was Jacob, It's just interesting. All these people, you wind up knowing that the cover story is about you. So if you could happily accept the fact that when you read about this and see the main character that's going through the trial and tribulation is actually you, and if you could learn to read behind it like I can, then you'll see that these aren't really scary stories, but they're just telling you they're personalities of our mind. And this is where I link them to Buddha and to Krishna, because they all are saying the same thing. Inside of all religion is this wonderful little story about returning home to mom and dad. One of them is a good one of them is a bad one. When they are both separated, dad is a bad guy. They switch from time to time, being the female or the good guy, being the male. It doesn't matter. But the idea is one of them is really bad, and the other one is really good. And that, well, our job is to make the really bad one. Let's help mom get in there, connect them together, so they're happy, and you'll be happy, you know. And that's important. That's what it takes. And the world can be happier like that. But you have to get them both together, you know, and believe that that's the job that we are called for. And it'll bring back wonderful things to this world. All right, so get your Christ on. All right, I love you, and chat with you soon.